with these two guys from the last 2 weeks. YTdarius, Philly.500, the trio of the week. How are you guys doing tonight, and what is up?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having us again. Happy Halloween to you and to everybody. It's good to be here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so once again for having us on, man. Always looking forward to these hopefully weekly videos now that we're doing. And hey, this week is a lot better coming off of a win, bro.
Yeah, 100%. We do have a test against the Chicago Bears defense. And, I want to see how we perform against the Bears. Now, I told my friend via text that we don't necessarily need DeSean Jackson this week. I feel like we could win without him. But at the same time, it would be nice to get him for him to test the waters coming off of the bye week and going into that Pats game. Like, it's kind of like that win-lose situation to where if you play him this week and he gets hurt, you're without him for the rest of the season. But if you beat him with DeSean Jackson and he's fine and he's perfectly fine to go, he's not as rusty coming out of the bye week against the New England Patriots. So what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on that? Because I'm kind of iffy when it comes to starting DeSean Jackson this week because I honestly think we could beat the Bears without him. I don't think the Bears are that good. Like, I really don't.
I mean, I wouldn't mind resting him another week and then have the bye week personally. Just because I at this point I don't think it can hurt. I think we can win without him, but at the same time, like if they could just give him like limited snaps, like I think that would help a lot. I'm very concerned about DeSean Jackson because I watched him practice yesterday, and yes, it was nice to see him on the field, but he didn't run hard. He didn't go full throttle. It was very gingerly, and I want to know what we're getting. If we're not getting 80 to 90% DeSean Jackson, it's going to hurt us.
Yeah, I agree.
So, call me crazy for this one, but I would love to go ahead and see DeSean Jackson like as much as he can against the Bears, just for several reasons why. It's pretty much been reported that he's never going to be 100% at all throughout for the rest of the season. So it could be a nagging injury that could just happen where, we don't play him for, this week, and then he rests during the bye week, and then a couple plays in the Patriots, it could go ahead and re-aggravate again and whatnot. And then in my opinion, I think we're going to talk about this in a quick second too. Let's say we play him this week, and I would love to see if he can go ahead and play this week, and he re-aggravates the injury, might prolong him or cut him off for the rest of the season.
Right.
Josh Gordon just literally cleared IR, and he's on waivers, and that would literally force the Eagles. That would literally force us to go ahead and now get a healthier wide receiver. That would be a big threat for us, and I think that would literally force our hand to go ahead and make a move, whether it's that Josh Gordon or someone else that was a Patriot, that was also a Patriot as well. That would force us to go ahead and make something happen. It's
funny you brought that up because I was literally just to dive into that. The Eagles are the betting favorite to land Josh Gordon for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just like a dream come true because New England gets rid of the guy because for whatever reason, I think they thought that he was injury prone or whatnot. I don't even know the reason. They just cut people and then they win anyway. But wouldn't that be something else if we acquired this dude? We made a run to the Super Bowl. He caught a touchdown pass and he was the reason why we won.
Dude, I'd take it a step further. I'd sign him and Antonio Brown.
It won't cost nothing. We won't have to go ahead and trade them.
What the hell do I care? I'm not running a monastery. I don't need monks. I need football players. I keep saying that, but like that's not going to happen. But I would definitely take a flyer on Josh Gordon. I mean, he's very, very talented. He can run deep. He can stretch the field. I don't know if the Eagles are going to do it. I really don't know what to think. I don't know what they're thinking. I think they should, but I don't know.
The thing about it is that in 2017, with our rushing attack, and it looks like when we properly game plan and when we're not down 10-0 immediately, we're able to go ahead and properly use the running game when necessary. And like how we did against Green Bay and Buffalo, pretty much our two biggest wins, we were just running amok on the ground.
Yep.
But what also made our team just very scary in 2017 was not only we had a third-ranked rushing attack, but we had a dynamic passing offense, and we were just passing all over everybody, right? And so with that being said, it's just like if we are still limited, all right, both of our biggest wins against Packers and against Buffalo Bills, we were still kind of limited in the passing game. Like, and again, I'm the kind of person where whatever it takes to win, I'm not going to go ahead and be like, oh, Carson needs 300 yards a game or whatever. But the fact that we're still like, 170-yard passing and these big kind of wins, that still shows me more about how limited we are when it comes to these receivers. And if we are trying to go ahead and be that Super Bowl team and we didn't trade nobody and we're sticking with these guys and we're probably going to try to get one last dance out of these guys that helped us win a couple years back before we start cutthroating this roster, then go ahead and then just add the passing game to this running game, and it could go ahead and bam, it could just take off. So I guess we're really going to just be banking. That's why I'm saying if Deshaun Jackson says he can play Sunday, then let's just see if he can play. And if it re-aggravates them, then make a move. Make a move for one of these guys that's not going to cost anything. They're going to be really cheap as well. We could do it.
No, and I agree 100% for the reasons being that, Wentz throughout his career, it's a proven fact that he's the type of QB that needs help around him to succeed. And I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but it's the truth. All right. He needs talent around him to succeed. You have Alshon Jeffrey. He's really not performing well because his speed is lacking this year. All right. Nelson Aguilar is dropping passes religiously. Zach Ertz isn't there anymore. Dallas Goedert looks like his favorite target right now. So when Deshaun Jackson comes back, it adds that deep threat. But if you add Josh Gordon on the other side of that, along with Alshon and Deshaun Jackson, there you go. There's your talent right there, and Wentz will succeed again. This is what we need, and I feel like Howie Roseman needs to do something. He doesn't need to trade for anyone, and we'll just pick him up, and it'll be cheap. So nailed it.
I would love to have Josh Gordon. I think that it's not so much that he needs top of the line weapons; it's that he needs certain styles to fit. So what I'm saying is he is not he is not a Nick Foles. He's not going to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. And He's not going to throw 3 yards. You need to give him guys that can stretch the field. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, they have those things. Even though Aaron Rodgers' guys may not be well known, if you look at them, they all can run. They all can get downfield. None of these guys can. Nelson Aguilar stinks. I'm sorry. He's horrible. And then Matt Collins stinks. And then,
Matt Collins shouldn't even be a thought.
Then Alshon Jeffrey is playing on one leg. I mean, he's obviously hurt.
Yeah.
So, what do teams do? They've been putting best corner on Ertz and double teaming him at times. That pretty much says your one-on-one guy. Your guys one-on-one have to win. I think Deshaun Jackson helps tremendously. You add him and Josh Gordon, then yes, you probably become dynamic as long as they're both healthy and can play.
Yeah, I would go ahead and agree. I mean, obviously now giving Carson Wentz all that money, you're pretty much going to have to really now monitor the kind of talent you're going to go ahead and surround him. And me personally, I prioritize offensive linemen first because when you have a franchise quarterback, it's all about keeping him upright. So I feel like money should be a little bit favored towards the lineman before everybody else. But at the same time, though, because the thing about it is this. It's interesting because if you actually name all the big-time wide receivers in the NFL, like Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, the Calvin Johnsons, the T.O.s, the Randy Moss, the Chad Johnsons, all these big-time wide receivers, one thing that they have in common is that they don't have Super Bowls. They're not really the formula to win these Super Bowls. I honestly, the last big-time receiver I could really think of that won a Super Bowl is like Jerry Rice. You can go ahead and name. It's a list where you actually think, if you really truly think of a big time wide receiver that you see that gets paid, they never win. And it's normally a group of scrappy guys out there that just run routes and is clutch. Julian Edelman with the Patriots, obviously. We see how open he gets. Danny Amendola when he was with the Patriots a couple years ago. Doug Baldwin when he was with the Seattle Seahawks as well. Wes Welker. All those kind of guys out there. I mean, even with the Giants when they had those guys running around like Mario Manningham. Plaxico Burress. See, these are like B style receivers. And when you have like those B receivers instead of those A+ receivers, those B receivers, what Philly.500 says, needs to really sort of fit more with the quarterback and fit more with the offense than, that because they themselves are rather limited. And with Carson Wentz, a guy who is known for just extending plays and wants to try to, hit the home run first pitch at bat. You get what I'm saying? You kind of want to get those guys that are just go out there, run routes, and create separation just for him to go ahead and throw to. So, it is like it's a weird way to build a roster, but it's like if you really just pay attention to it, it makes a lot of sense.
Here's what I'll say: if you put Patrick Mahomes behind this offense right now, I think he would have the same struggles because he holds on to the ball too long, right? He holds on to the ball a lot.
I don't know. He's good.
He's a vertical thrower. No. See, but that's not fair.
How's that not fair?
Because the truth of the matter is, watch him hold on to the ball. Look how long he holds on the ball. Probably longer than Carson Wentz at times. But he's got guys downfield wide open. He's got vertical receivers. He's got speed. You think he's going to be throwing perfect passes to Alshon at 2 yards every 2 seconds? You're wasting his talent at that point. You got to put receivers that fit the quarterback you're playing with. Carson doesn't need big, slow receivers. He needs vertical guys. He needs guys that could strike at any time. That's the kind of quarterback he is. And I think you're always going to struggle if you give him these big, slow wide receivers.
Well, the biggest question mark with Carson Wentz, like for the last couple of years, was his deep ball. Was it accurate? And like you said, if we get that vertical threat for Carson Wentz, you saw it week 1, Deshaun Jackson. Like, what did he have? 2-3 touchdowns?
But it's not just about like 50 yards down the field. Yeah. It's like the medium range routes, the 25-yard passes, the 20-yard. They don't get open. They don't get separation. Right. And then defenses cheat up and play you short. They're playing Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs offense. You have to switch it to the Patrick Mahomes Kansas City offense. And you got to get the proper weapons. I believe if you do, that's why Deshaun Jackson had 8 catches, however many yards against Washington. He fits. Yeah. He's a perfect receiver for Carson Wentz.
But he's also very old, so.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. And everything goes around him, I mean, it just stinks like they put all this stock into Deshaun Jackson. Like, I love D-Jax, don't get me wrong, but we need to stay on the field, and he hasn't proven that.
I don't think we realize how bad these receivers are. I mean, they're god awful. And look, who's good besides all right. Who's good? Nelson Aguilar.
They aren't god awful. All right, I'm gonna.
They're god awful.
I can't believe I'm doing this right now, but I'm gonna defend Aguilar. All right.
I'm
gonna defend him because
okay.
All right, as bad as he's been this year with dropping passes and everything like that, we know the good we could get out of Nelson Aguilar. And that's why I'm saying he's not completely trash. He's just in his own head, and that's a problem. He has some of the fastest footwork I've seen in the NFL since I've watched the NFL.
He's got 4 feet.
Yeah, he's quick. He's got 2 feet to run with and 2 left feet to catch with. Yeah, I mean, he catches with his feet. I understand that, but if he wasn't in his own head, he's actually a pretty decent wide receiver. Like, I honestly. I want to give him a little bit more time, just a little bit, to show us what he's made of, because I believe in him. I really do. Like, I've seen the good in Nelson Aguilar. I know you're saying he's worse than like some bum.
I take Todd Pinkston over Nelson Aguilar.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Take Todd Pinkston. Give me Reggie. Yeah, I would. Give me Reggie Brown.
What about Freddie Mitchell?
What fascinates
a 4th and 26.
what fascinates me though about the situation is that, like, the receiving core looked great week 1, and that was just with the addition of Deshaun Jackson. Like, was Deshaun Jackson really just clouding the deficiencies from our receiving core than what we got now?
He keeps the defenses honest because safeties have to play back, right? So you create more space in the middle. But also, I think, Aguilar is talented athletically. I give you that. But the problem is when there's pressured situations, when you need him to step up, he can't do it. He needs to be the 4th wide receiver.
Yes, he's not the guy. He's
and as soon as Deshaun and Alshon got hurt, he choked.
Yeah,
and he blew the Atlanta game, which I'm still pissed off about. I'll never get over.
That was bad.
Then the air fumble. Yeah. Okay, and he's just not that good. And then your quarterback obviously loses faith in him, right or wrong. He doesn't throw. He doesn't even target him.
You don't.
That's one thing I will address right here, right now, because I think I've said it for the last 2 weeks. If there's an open receiver on the field, Carson Wentz needs to throw them the ball, because if the wide receiver drops the pass, that's on the wide receiver. The quarterback needs to get the open target every single time. I don't care who it is, how bad they are, if it's the water boy. He needs to get the ball to them because it just sets up the whole offense. He can't play favorites because that's what hurts us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I mean, I just think that's how bad it has gotten with Nelson Aguilar, and he's making $9 million. If Deshaun comes back, he may feel less pressure, he may have more space, and he may play better.
We have a good comment from Eagle Speed in the chat. He said Aguilar was only clutch in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, when you have to be the most clutch.
Right? One time his whole life.
Come on. It was in the biggest game ever.
A fluke. I just think it's a fluke year.
No
way.
I think
way.
Going back to personnel and pretty much Deshaun Jackson, once again, shout out to Eagle Speed. And let me see, there's several others I was mentioning. Torrey Smith in the comment section. It's one of those things where Torrey Smith didn't do little to none when he was here in Philadelphia, but he just did enough by being out there and keeping the defense honest. So do we honestly need to go after like big time receivers like Deshaun Jackson, or can we just really let's go after someone that's young, fast, and we'll just keep a defense honest? I mean, because again, we look Torrey Smith, little to no production that we saw from Torrey Smith, but him being out there made our offense the best we ever saw in Eagles history. So is it like something where do we just can grab any fast guy out there, or do we just need like these guys like Deshaun Jackson out there?
I just think you need the style to fit, the speed, and they got to be competent. You know what I mean? They can't be trash, but like if you let's say you drafted like a Hollywood Brown, or you drafted a second one, DJ Metcalf instead of Ortega-Whiteside. I mean, if you drafted somebody with some speed that could play, I think it'll go a long way because I don't see space when Carson throws a lot of times. There's no space. The receivers are always catchable and they're tackled immediately. Everybody's on them, and I just think you need to kind of give your quarterback better weapons that fit you down the road. Not this year, obviously, but I would revamp the whole offense next year.
Let me ask you a question, Philly. All right. Do you know Tom Brady's supporting cast right now off the top of your head?
Yes. I mean, I know some of them, yeah.
I think they had a wide receiver named Bolton, who I've never even heard of in my life.
But Tom Brady is not, and Carson Wentz are two different styles.
But are they? I mean, yes, they are two different styles. One's a pure pocket passer
and one's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, but he's in the perfect system. Listen, I disagree with that. I really do. In my honest opinion,
perfect system for himself.
The greatest QB of all time in my book. All right, you can't count the trophies. It's skill wise. The greatest QB of all time is Aaron Rodgers. That's the best QB of all time.
And he holds the ball long a lot.
Not really.
Yes, he does.
He gets it out in 2 seconds.
Aaron Rodgers tends to hold the ball long, keep plays alive a lot of times. Yeah, but look at his receivers, though.
That's something Wentz needs to do.
They could get but he's got to have the right guys that can go vertical.
But
there's nobody that can do it.
Yeah, but you're saying the right guys, but he needs to work with what he has because he can't just rely on someone to come in. He needs to work with what he has, and if he realizes he has dog shit at wide receivers, he needs to make time for separation. Just run around a little bit, make plays develop.
Then he gets killed for not getting rid of the ball fast enough. He can't win. The guy cannot win.
Because there's always that debate. I know.
The similarities right now this year with Rodgers and Brady, and I mean, again, we're seeing Rodgers. He's playing better than ever without Devontae Adams. The game he got hurt. We haven't seen Devontae Adams since then, and the Packers, they've been getting better and better since that game. But I think both quarterbacks are in a situation where one, they both have quality defenses that give their offense a lot of opportunities, and the biggest gripe when we played against the Packers and what the Packers didn't do against us, thankfully, was they didn't even look at to run into ball, like running the ball when they were inside the 5-yard line. They just kept passing, and then eventually we got the interception at the end of the game. We're Patriots. We know that, we'll run the ball whenever we can, if it's given to us. And I feel like with the Eagles right now, one, we don't really have a defense that could give us an opportunity to see the field as much as we possibly can to really get into a rhythm on offense. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to our running game, I feel like sometimes we are hesitant, and it's hard for us to commit to a running game, especially when we start off the game down 10-0, 14-0. 14-0. So in a way, it's sort of, I think, a whole team effort as to why it's sort of affecting our passing game, if that makes sort of sense. It's weird how everything correlates to the passing game. It's the lack of reps out there on the field, or already being down 10-0, or not having a defense that's given us an opportunity to really, get back on the field, and we're always having to go ahead and try to come back and start off by passing the ball instead of running the ball and gradually get going. But also what is alarming, though, is that when we run the ball, in 2017, we ran the ball successfully and it opened up the field. We're running the ball successfully in several games this year, and it still hasn't really opened up the field. Like, it still hasn't really opened up the passing game as it should.
Well, last week is very hard, though. I mean, in fairness, they had 30-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, you didn't see the Eagles throw long once, and the couple times that Buffalo did, the ball died in the midair. One took it out of bounds. So I think it's really hard to judge last week. But I mean, in other games, the Eagles they don't even throw downfield.
I remember this one play in particular. Josh Adams was going after one of the wide receivers on the sideline. Their wide receivers were trash. I don't even remember their names. He's going to the sideline, threw it to him, and it went way out of bounds. Like, that's how bad the winds were.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the flagpoles like doing like this, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at, because I see our stats, and 4 of our wins, we only have one win where we pretty much see the whole team play collectively, where the running game played great and our passing game was better than ever, which was obviously week 1. That's what everybody was expecting our offense to go ahead and look like. But the rest of our 3 wins, it's one of those, like, we look at our passing offense and it's just 175 yards. Now, again, I'm not going to be tripping off that, but when we play a quarterback 128 million, it's not to really just be averaging 175 yards in these wins and just a touchdown. So I think if we're going to be really investing into Carson Wentz, it's just a matter of really, getting him the proper weapons out there. And again, I think this just goes back to Deshaun Jackson now, where, I mean, gotta have him out there.
I feel like with the Eagles is they bought a Ferrari and they're asking it to go 35 miles an hour. And that's what they're asking of it every week. When they play Carson Wentz, that's what I see. You got a Ferrari and you're telling him, go ahead, don't drive past 35.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they can tell him whatever they want, but all I know is he's the one with the ball. He's the one that could change the play at the line. All right, so it's really up to him to perform the way he's going to. And I understand what you're saying, because Wentz is your guy. All right, I understand.
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah,
no qualms about that.
But listen, I like every single Eagles player on the team, every single one. All right, but I have that little harsh criticism for Wentz every single time I see him underperforming. And you know what?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Every single time I see him underperforming, I want him to play like he did in 2017. Now, Darius and I were doing a stream on Sunday, all right? And there were a couple of plays where I'm like, Darius, he looks like he's back, man. And he's like, I won't be saying that. I won't be saying that right now. I was seeing it. He was running for the first down. He's getting aggressive. And, he took over the game.
But I was very impressed with him in the fourth quarter, because we were up. You had the Miles Sanders touchdown. Then Buffalo comes back and score. And he went right down the field and answered. And I thought that was a huge moment for him, Yeah. I thought there was a lot of articles written that week saying this is the biggest game of Carson Wentz. I thought it was all overblown. But I thought, for the most part, he had a good game.
Yeah. Someone in the comment section just said you're the Wentzy in society.
I know. I am. I'm the chief priest.
That fourth quarter drive was definitely a highlighted drive in Carson Wentz's young career. It's we're still up convincingly, but we're still not putting them away. And I remember me and my Natural Freak, we were just like, okay, hold on for a second. Like we were so ready to go ahead and like wanting to celebrate, but we couldn't just put it away. But then we saw Carson Wentz literally put the game in his hands and just had that big drive in the fourth quarter, 8 minutes, put the game away. And I don't know if it's something that seeing him run like that all the time now, don't get me wrong, it was great to see it the first couple of years, but after several injuries, I don't know if I want to see more of that. But and Nitro Freak, you mentioned that, let's have him run as much as he can because that's part of his game. That's who he is. For me, it feels like it's playing with fire because sometimes like me, like playing football, I was at Fresno State. Like when I got my first injury, it was just injury after injury after injury kept piling on. With Carson Wentz, it was broken wrist and broken ribs and torn knee, then broken back. It's just like it piles on when you get that first injury, and it's just like I don't know if I really want to see Carson Wentz as much as that is more of his style, like what you were saying, Ultra Freak, on the stream. I don't know if I really want to go and see him start doing that now again. That's just me, though. That's just me. We need him out there. We need him
but
out
you
there.
know what, to rebut off of what you just said, what we paid Carson Wentz, like that big contract, was for him to play his game. And the game that almost won him the MVP was him running a ton and playing recklessly. Now, I don't want him to play reckless to where he's running into two linebackers and like doing a helicopter in the air. Like I don't want him to play like that. But I mean, I would love to see him run for the first down more. I would love to see him run open in open space to try to create separation among the receivers, try to give them time to get open. And that's what I want to see, honestly. I don't want him just standing there in the pocket as it's collapsing slowly. It's just it's so cringeworthy to watch because you see that the offensive line is doing their best to try to give this guy 4 seconds at least to throw the ball. And he's just standing there. And as it collapses, he doesn't even back up to run away. He just stands there, you know? And I just
they rolled them out a lot. Sunday, and it was good, and they need to do more of that.
Yeah, they do.
But I'll go block for him for 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and I won't complain.
You'd probably do well too.
So the offensive linemen shouldn't complain. They should just get out there and do the damn job.
Yeah, exactly.
So hold on, Philly. So what do you think he should? Do you think he should like sort of get more back into his first couple years role where he was taking off, or do you want him to?
I don't necessarily want him to run over defensive players, but I would like to see more rollouts, shift the pocket, move the pocket around, those kind of things, because he does need to buy time because his receivers stink. So they got to get open. So it takes time. And I do think he sits in the pocket too much. I think he's trying to find a balance, of not injuring himself and putting himself in a bad position. I don't know, but I would like to see more rollouts.
Yeah, I mean, he played well against the Bills. Now he's got a tough test against the Bears. And, I'm going to get right into this. What's your guys' score predictions? Because I know this is a tough one because this Bears defense is going to come to eat because they have to play for this game. They're 3-4. They're playing with their backs against the walls. They're coming into Philly, a team that kicked them out of the playoffs because their kicker absolutely sucked. So what are you guys thinking? This is just one of those games where you expect Mitch Trubisky to get his 5 turnovers as expected. What do you guys think? Because I'm trying to put a pin on this.
I think the Eagles are going to destroy them. I think they're coming in pumped. They're coming in fired up. Deshaun comes in, he plays. I think Trubisky is going to take the heat, and I think he's going to throw a pick 6. And I think the Eagles are going to win this game 31-13.
Well, just like last week. For me,
I had 2017 last week.
Oh no, I was talking about like that was like last week's score was 31-13. Okay. For me, honestly, I look at this game exactly like the like the Bills game. Talented team, but what holds them back is their quarterback. They really got to cater to their quarterback. Their quarterback struggles with like throwing the ball, like physically struggles throwing the football. Same as for Josh Allen. However, Josh Allen actually had a decent game. I'm not going to go ahead and ridicule Josh Allen like that. And what really took over that game was us really pounding the rock. And I think that's what we have to go ahead and do against this Bears defense is once again, try to punch them in the mouth. Last year, we could go ahead and just take a quick sample size from that playoff game because it's sort of a lot of the same personnel that's coming back from last year. Our defense was able to go ahead and contain Mr. Trubisky, but our offensive struggle. We only ran the ball. We only had like 45 rushing yards against the Bears that playoff game. And so I think what could really separate this game into turning it into a blowout, Philly.500, is if we can go ahead and utilize our 1-2 punch with Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. Now, last year, our 1-2 punch was Wendell Smallwood and a 35-year-old Darren Sproles. That was our 1-2 punch against the Bears. This year, we're going to be coming at them with a motivated Jordan Howard, where this should be a Jordan Howard game for him once again because it's against against his former team. And obviously with Miles Sanders, you got that fresh legs, that explosiveness, got that playmaking ability. And of course, I'm always sure it's personal with Alshon Jeffrey as well, because he had a good game when we played him in 2017 against the Bears as well. So I'm pretty sure Alshon and Jordan Howard could both, have that extra motivation, knowing that this is the team that drafted them, that they'll, use that into playing into this week. Defensive wise, we should be good, and I think we're going to benefit off the fact that it's Mitch Trubisky throwing the football. So I would probably say a good 20. I'm gonna say 27 to 10.
So you guys are going blowouts. You guys
27 to 10.
My man Darius, I love it.
27 to 10. I think we roll into the bye week feeling good.
All right. So this is basically what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to steamroll the Bears as well. So we're all in agreement there. I don't think the Bears are any good. I know they're coming in for vengeance. What happened to them? Because, like I said, their kicker is an asshole. I think
we know about Cody Parkey as well.
Yeah.
We know about Cody Parkey.
No, we know him. Yeah, they're coming into the link with a vengeance. Doesn't matter. Their team is gonna try to beat us on the defensive side of the ball. They're very good on defense. Max is stud. I just don't think it'll matter. I don't think it'll matter much at all. And I think this is actually a breakout game, nonetheless, for Ronald Darby. I think Ronald Darby gets 2 interceptions. And you know what? Going off of Ronald Darby, what I just said about him, he's going to make a lot of people eat their words, because this guy's going to have a breakout second half. And I know what kind of production Ronald Darby can give when he's healthy. This guy is going to prove all of his haters wrong. There's clearly something not right with this guy at the beginning of the year, and he's going to be our best cornerback the next half of the year.
I love it. I love it.
So I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but again, I think I'm going to honestly, for on our defensive side, I don't trust our defense whatsoever. And I really give more credit to the quarterbacks that we've sort of recently been playing. The Luke Falks, the Josh Allens, the Mitch Trubiskys. I'm not gonna lie, let's say if our defense destroys Mitch Trubisky as well, we force a couple turnovers as well. I probably still would not be confident when it comes to facing the Tom Brady's or the Russell Wilsons as well. They really need to show me what they can go ahead and do, because even against Aaron Rodgers, because these are going to be 2 elite quarterbacks, even against Aaron Rodgers, we needed our offense to just explode that day in order for us to go ahead and beat Aaron Rodgers. So I hope our defense does capitalize off of it. And I mean, I'm going to be crossing my fingers, Nitro. Trust me, I'm going to be crossing my fingers that they could at least build this momentum, try to fix themselves over the bye, get more healthy. Maybe Ron LeBlanc could make an appearance as well. But I would probably not have that confidence on the defense as I like you are right now, until I see what they can go ahead and do against these guys, because I know when it comes into crunch time and playoff time, those are going to be the guys that we're going to be seeing.
Now, one question. We're getting Avonte Maddox back this week?
Maybe. I think it's a question mark.
So that'd be nice to get him back.
Yeah.
I think Jernigan practice also. I mean, we actually may start to get healthy here. That could be huge second half season.
Yeah, definitely. As for my score, 35-10 Eagles. I don't think it's close. I feel like this is a game where we really set the tone going into the bye and come out of the bye smelling like roses, and then we beat the Pats.
Well, that's the key. That changes everything.
We'll be their first loss on the season.
I love it. I would love that.
That's good. Are you gonna go to Vegas with that?
Maybe. I mean,
take it to Vegas.
I can go anywhere, honestly, because sports betting's legal. So I could go to parks in Pennsylvania. I could go to AC. If I'm feeling it, yeah, definitely. I think the point spread right now on that game is 2 for the Patriots. So I mean, it's low. So, I mean, I was looking at that. I feel like that's a victory right there. But let's get past the Bears. Let's go into the bye week. I know you guys got to get out of here. It's Halloween. You got a lot of stuff to do. I'm not feeling well. I got to go to a party down in Philadelphia as I'm not feeling well. And thank you guys for joining the stream, a special Halloween edition. Every single week, this trio will be on, unless someone has something come up. And, go Birds. And the Bears, they're going down.
Absolutely, man. Once again,
thanks for having
me on, man. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. Always great discussion.
Yeah, Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Yep. With that being said, fly goes fly. We are out. Bye.
Get Josh Gordon.